the Marquette community, our student body, our fan base for showing up today. This is the type of crowd I envisioned when, a little less than 2 years ago I got the job. This was the type of atmosphere and crowd I envisioned us having. And I hope as our program continues to improve that this will be something we see on an every game occurrence. But I'm very thankful for the support that our fans give our kids. It means a lot. I was a kid once and wore a uniform, and when I went out to where I played, the support means a lot for our players, and they recognize it and they're appreciative of it, and we all are. So thank you.
Coach, when you look at almost every stat category that it's really close, it just goes a little bit towards Villanova. Is that a sign that your team is closer than some might think you are?
Well, I think we've gotten better. I think over the course of the season we're a much better team now than we were early in the season. Villanova is an outstanding team. You guys heard it if you were at my press conference 2 days ago. They're the type of team that makes you pay for every mistake. So a turnover, they're going to score on it. A missed assignment on defense, they're going to score on it. They make you pay for their mistakes, and that's why they are a team that can go to a Final Four. That's why they've been ranked in the top 5 the whole year. That's a sign of an outstanding program and terrific leadership, especially internally on the team, because they're ready. They don't beat themselves. They're ready to play every game. Their kids seem like they have great attitudes every game, and they try to execute what Jay and his staff want them to execute. And they do that every game. And as a result, they win a whole lot more than they lose, and against good competition. So there's a lot to learn from playing against a team like Villanova. The area that I was most disappointed for us was our turnovers. Our turnovers led to some very easy baskets for them. And you can't do that. We have a hard time enough stopping them when it's 5-on-5. But if they got a clear path layup, or if it's 2-on-1 in transition, we're going to probably not stop them. And so our turnovers led to almost a third of their points. And that's not how you beat a team like this. Overall, I thought our kids tried. They tried, and they played hard. But we don't yet have the habits to beat a team like this at this point, and that's what we gotta grow to. It's disappointing we don't, but it's also reality.
It seemed the press gave you guys quite a bit of trouble, especially early on. How difficult was that for your young guards to break?
Yeah, I thought it really stood our guys up, and we talked about attacking it and trying to attack it to score, but we never got in a rhythm against it. They have long athletes, they're quick, they cover a lot of ground. And I don't think we attacked it particularly well, or like we wanted to in preparation. But they're good at it. They're good at it, and they fly around and they create different matchups because I don't really care if a guard's on a big or a big's on a guard. I mean, they really switch and interchangeable with their defenses when they're coming out of that press. And so for a young guy, it can cause a little bit of confusion, and I think which it did. And the guys that we have breaking the press are 2 freshmen. And so, we got to teach them and help them learn from it. So when they see something like this again, they'll be better the next time.
Coach, you turned Villanova over 17 times today. What did you think of your defense's aggressiveness, and what did you do that got Villanova to commit so many mistakes?
Well, I think we were playing hard. I thought we played really hard on the ball. I thought we had really good energy on the defensive end, which forced them to make some plays that were uncharacteristic of who they are. I don't think we capitalized on our turnovers we got as well as they capitalized on the turnovers that they got. But it was you don't turn Villanova over unless you're busting your butt, because they're good. Their guards are good, and they're seasoned, and they've been in it, and they've combined for 100 college wins and all that kind of stuff. So I was proud of our guys' effort overall. But obviously we're a work in progress.
Coach, if you don't mind, a 2-for-1 here. If you could talk about the habits that you need your team to develop, and also about the play of the young freshmen, Cheatham and Tracy Carter, please.
Well, we're still, still trying to develop habits. With our team, a thing that we will hope to get to here, because the sands in the hourglass are running short, is some sort of consistency and dependability of play. We've had a lot of inconsistency of play, especially on the perimeter, where somebody will show up and play a great game, and then the next game isn't the same player. So we got to find some consistency in our perimeter play. I think our two young guards Tracy had 10 assists. He was the one guy who wasn't stood up against their pressure, and at times when attacking it, he maybe was a little too aggressive. But he put the ball, he got 10 assists. I think he pressured the ball really well. And then Haney's one of the best freshmen in America. And, Henry Ellenson deserves all the attention he gets. He's a first-team freshman All-American, no-brainer. But Haney's one of the great freshmen in the country, too. And we've had two freshmen who are having historical freshman years by Marquette standards, which is pretty neat considering all the great players that have come through this amazing program. There's been some big-time freshmen over eras and different coaches and different times. Those two guys have acquitted themselves with the greats who have played here before. And sometimes I don't think with Haney he gets enough credit for what he's doing. He had 19 points tonight. I think so basically 4 out of the last 6 Big East games, he scored about 20 points a game. It's pretty darn good. I don't know how many freshmen are doing that.
Coach, Old Sheffield had a big game today, double-double. Tell me about how his play kind of led to Fisher's foul trouble throughout the game and other things.
Yeah, well, Luke was in foul trouble. Seems like a running I won't say anything because I'll get in trouble. But Luke seems to be in foul trouble a lot. A little bit of a mystery to me. But Ochefu's a really good player. He's a very veteran, strong player. And because they surround him with 4 guys who are deadly open shooters, it's very hard to bring help. So what you end up doing is have to play him one-on-one. And that's hard for anyone. And, he's a 5th-year senior, and he's really good, strong and mature and smart player.
Coach, Henry opened up with 10 points in the first half, only 3 in the second. What kind of look did they give you in the second half that was different than the first?
Well, some of it had to do with, we weren't able to play Luke as much in the second half. So Henry was playing a little bit out of what he would normally be playing because of Luke's foul trouble. Luke's foul trouble has a domino effect in a lot of different ways, and it forces Henry to play a position that he hasn't played for the majority of the year. The other thing is every time he touched it, they were sending 2 and 3 guys at him, and so it wasn't, obviously their game plan was to make it tough for him to catch, and when he did, make sure there's 2 or 3 Wildcats around him as soon as he got it.
Tough Big East game, not a surprise at all. It would seem we would be disappointed in how sloppy we played with our turnovers, but Marquette is the best in our league at turning people over. Wojo's got these guys. They got young guys playing really hard, defending, scrappy. He's done a great job with this team. This is a really good team and a really tough team to play against. So you can have a great defensive field goal percentage, or you can create turnovers and your defensive field goal percentage doesn't look that good, but those turnovers get you buckets. And that's what they do a great job of. We shot 57%, but those 17 turnovers, every time we turned it over, they scored. So I think that was a big part of the game. Thank you very much, Mike. Sorry, guys. Any question?
And Coach, Daniel had his first double-double since January 6th. Tell me about how he was able to command the paint with Ellenson and Fisher.
Yeah. Well, Daniel was rolling. He was playing great, and it was the Marquette game that he got hurt in. And since that Marquette game, he had a tough time coming back from that injury. Then he had the flu, then a concussion. So, we're just getting him back going. I'm really happy for him. And we need to use him. We really do. He's a force, man. And it's not just his scoring, but to only have 2 turnovers and handle the ball as much as he does for us, even in press offense, is big. He was huge for us.
With the youth of Marquette's point guards, was the high-pressure D a point of emphasis for this game for you?
It kind of just fell into place for us that way because we felt like in the Xavier game we didn't do a good job of it. We backed away from it, and my fault, probably my fault. I didn't think we needed it against them, and for other reasons, not that they're not a great team. So we just wanted to get back to playing it. So it just so happens we get Marquette the next game, and I think if you come into this building and you don't get after it, they can get on a run, and this place can get rolling. You can be back on your heels.
Coach, it seemed like there was a lot of pick and roll action with Ochefu. Was there something you saw in Marquette's defense that made you go to the pick and roll that often?
It's a big part of what we do. We usually go to it. If it's working, we stay with it. If it doesn't, we'll go away. But we always come back to it because him and Arch are 2 seniors. We try to get those guys involved in that as our decision makers. So it worked well today.
Early in the second half, you guys started off on a couple of points. Marquette cut it to 6, I think, and suddenly you guys are up by 15. Just how important was that run early on in the second period?
That was big because if they, as I said, you come into this place, you can feel it when they get it going. It's loud and they can get on a roll. And if they got it back to 6, we actually got a couple stops there, right? We got a couple steals and got out in transition, got some easy buckets, created a little bit of a cushion. I think that was really important because if that would have turned into a 1 or 2 point game, that would have been one of the games that we always have here, overtime and 1 point games, and I like it better this way.
Jay, the defense gave up over 50% again for the second straight game. Were you okay with the fact that you had to outscore them as opposed to
No.
stopping them?
No, I wasn't going to bring it up if someone didn't bring it up. Like I always tell you, if you don't ask me, I'm not going to tell you. But if you ask me, I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I'm very disappointed in our defense. Very disappointed, and it wasn't good against Xavier either. We kind of lost that. We got to get back. We got to get back to it.
How important was this bounce back game with the Xavier one earlier this week?
It's always important. We have confidence in Daniel and Ryan in terms of being leaders and making sure these guys stay focused to just concentrate on the next game, not winning after a loss, but just playing the right way on the next game. And I thought they had the guys really focused. They did a great job. It's a quick turnaround. You get home late. We got home like 2:30, 3 in the morning. Got to come back, watch film. Next day, we'd practice in the morning to come out here. Everybody does it. But it's how you handle those situations. So I was really proud of our guys, how they handled it.
Have you sensed common things defensively in the last 2 games? Common issues or?
Yeah, the other team just driving by us at will. Both teams just taking the ball and just dribbling past our man at will for 2 games in a row. So we'll get back to work on that.
Coach, 7th largest crowd in Marquette history in the Bradley Center here today. What kind of an impact did crowd noise have on your strategy?
Number one, it felt like that. And we have played in front of some great crowds here. I told Wojo before the game, I'm starting to get a little complex. It's 2 years in a row. Marquette Day is Villanova. I know how that stuff works. I'm starting to worry about it, what they think of us. Marquette Day is pretty cool because there's a ton of people in the hotel. They're all Marquette people. They're very nice. It's actually very nice. It's pretty cool. You can't make a strategy for it, but you've got to always be aware that they can get on a roll and this place can get going. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're not playing well. It means that they're just on a ramp, and you got to find ways to stop it. Usually that's with defense. I thought that's what I talked about earlier. I thought we did a good job with that one, especially at the beginning of the first half. Beginning second half, excuse me.
Any last questions?
Jay, congratulations.
Thank
great team. When you look at guys like Cheatham, obviously Henry's the focal point, but Cheatham and today Tracy Carter, do you see the potential for growth? Do you see what perhaps they can be as they strive to be what your Wildcats are?
Definitely. We recruited both of those guys too, so we knew how good they were coming in, and it's the talent of those young guys, and it's the energy of Wojo. You can just see how they play. Like I said, man, we got some veteran guys out there, and they got after us. You got a guy like Chris Jenkins is a junior. He's got 4 turnovers, Phil Booth, 4 turnovers. They're veteran players. Those guys got after them, and I know that's what Wojo's going to build this program on. They're going to be, and they are. They're a real force in this league, and they're going to keep getting better.
I mean, we're fighters. We go out there every day, and we work hard. You know, today we had a lot of energy. We were really excited, and the crowd was excited. It just came down to execution. We had a few too many turnovers, but, you know, if we play the right way, we're very capable of beating really anyone in the nation, but we're also capable of losing as well.
Wally, when you hit those back-to-back threes and most of the student section was chanting your name, how did that feel?
You know, it feels good because the team was coming together at that point. We're making a run. A bunch of other guys, they hit shots before. We got some drives, and we put ourselves in a position, really, with 4 minutes to go that we were in the game. If a couple of things went our way, you know, we were just right there.
Well, you can describe what it was like to face their pressure and how you think your team handled the pressure overall?
Right. You know, I feel that there was some turnovers off their defensive pressure. Obviously, they're the best in the nation at making you pay for it. When they get that turnover, they're going to score every time. I feel like still a couple of our turnovers weren't as forced, but, you know, they have hard pressure, and you got to play through that.
You know, well, yeah, your brother set the freshman single-season scoring record for Marquette. You know, what does that mean to him?
You know, I don't know if he looks at all the stats and everything, but, you know, he loves playing the game, and all the accolades come to him because he's just always in the gym, always working hard and getting better every day.
How difficult was it to stick with their bigs? It seemed like interior defense was kind of an issue for some parts of the game.
Yeah, you know, they're big inside. You got to battle them. I don't really know what else I can say about that.
That's it, thanks.